Hey guys, how's it going? So welcome to a bunch of Rose Cup battles that I've been having. You're going to see here, I'm using a team of 6. I've got a few different opponents here, and I just told them to use whatever. So we're just doing some practice matches. And the first thing you want to do when you're looking at somebody else's teams is check out their Pokemon and look for weaknesses, right? So with this first team, I was looking at my own team, and after none of these battles, but actually the next couple of opponents I played against, I had a glaring omission there. We can see I have 5 Pokemon that will lose to Probopass essentially. So I had to correct that, and you'll see in my next video I've got a slightly different team, a little bit of a different makeup, and I think it's a much better balanced team. So unfortunately this team is in one of my remote tournaments, so it's not going so well. But unfortunately, that one's not weighted. So anyway, we'll follow on with these battles, and you can see things that happen well. So obviously, we get some nice leads here. We had nice Clefable versus the Machamp, and able to keep a shield on the back there. So Medicham was going to be able to get through the weekly tough. So we get the mirror match there, and as you can see, either his is better IVs, or we just CMP tied. Sorry, not CMP tied. I would have lagged a bit and missed out on one fast move. So that's alright. It's always good for practice to see how things match up. So we're going to be forced to keep our Graveller alive here against this Sableye, otherwise that's GG. Now we do switch into it quite nicely and just sort of charm it down. So we're sitting quite nicely here. Debatable whether it's worth even you throwing a charge move or just keep throwing fast moves. I think fast moves probably would have been the better option. Would have been one more charm that would have gone onto this Charizard. But we might get to a second Rock Blast, and it was the right move. So obviously he's done well with the Dragon Claw, but yeah, so fast moves are enough. So Volt Switch is quite nice, especially for those who've been doing a lot of Open Great League or Great Battle League? Battle League? Pokemon Go Battle League? Go Battle League. GBL, Go Battle League. They'll know that Raichu, especially Raichu with Volt Switch, is a bit of a beast. So we get a nice matchup here, except we get a ton of lag. So not an ideal situation, but I think it seems to come through alright. But yeah, we get the charge move off before we did, so I think kind of all's fair there. Now this is an interesting one, Drifloon. We ended up facing a few battles with Drifloon, which was interesting. And I don't know if it only had Icy Wind or that's all he was keen to throw. But yeah, there was a lot of icy wind coming from Drifloon. Now the problem I find with Drifloon is the flying subtype makes him fairly susceptible to your fighters. So Machamp will have Rock Throw, and your Medicham has the Ice Beam. And even Scrafty, obviously, he does well against the Ghost typing with his Foul Play. So, yeah, not always ideal of a matchup. And we're sitting pretty nice here. Lots of shields. Lots of health. So we'll shield up, fast move this Clefable down. And we've got Drifloon in the back. So this Shadow Ball will finish it off. We'll move into the next round. So, yeah, the only real glaring omission I had on this team that I could really focus on is that Probopass is going to tear through a lot of things. So unless you get the Medicham as that safe lead, Probopass is going to win. So sorry about this. I think this is a replay of the same match, is it? No. Sorry, we started another match and I missed the first few seconds. So this is against a different opponent, and we're seeing another Drifloon. So those Ice Punches do pretty well, taking down lots and lots of shields or HP. Graveller doesn't have to worry too much about anything. Switches into Clefable, and we'll go for our Golbat because we've got the shield advantage, and we're going to get to lots of Poison Fangs before we can worry about the second charged move. So elects to just let it go there, and then we've got Drifloon in the back. So yeah, that was all over. So we had quite a good lead matchup there. I think we had a Steelix against our Medicham. So again, we get a nice matchup here, but the trouble with Machamp is you have to make sure you block that Rock Throw, and you don't want to block a Cross Chop. It's kind of a massive waste, so it's a bit annoying. getting baited, especially in this sort of situation. But we get the bait back on him there, so it's going to be a rock throw. Rock slide, sorry. Not many people like the double shield. If you got high health, I don't mind it. It can set you up pretty nicely here. And you'll see here, we're going to get to another Shadow Ball, and that's it. So they're both fighting Pokemon, so... But we've taken out the 2 fighters just with Golbat. And we almost were going to get to that Shadow Ball, and that would have been it for Haunter too. But that's alright, we've got plenty of stuff to take care of the Haunter there. So yeah, interesting double fighting strat. Unless you're really confident they're going to take double tanks, there's going to be or Dark and a tank. Yeah, there's going to be a lot that's going to take out those fighters. The Ghosts, the Fairy types, the Flyers. There's a lot there that really is going to rip into your fighters. So unless you really, you're really feeling someone, you've practiced it a lot, I would maybe stick to one fighter, and then maybe something like something that's got some ground attacks that can take out a second tank. Something that's gonna not just get destroyed. But I mean, I could be wrong. You might really know who you're up against. So we're in a bit of a pickle. Last Pokemon, Medicham, Sableye. That's GG. So we're going down here, and we'll move into the next matchup. So yeah, I was really persisting with the Alolan Graveller. I really wanted to give him a good working over and see how he performed against almost everything. So not just the fighters, obviously he's going to lose to them, but all the other tanks, all the fairy users, dark Pokemon, ghosts, obviously he's going to beat the Flyers. And he's not too bad. Not that good though. I really think just for bang for your buck, you're probably going to get more out of your Probopass than you will with your Alolan Graveller. You're just losing to those fairy types. So that steel typing on Probopass really just kind of shines through. That's my opinion though. I'm sure lots of people will make it work. And in other areas, when there's a lot of water Pokemon, you might really, those Volt Switches might really come in handy. But I think for this one, you're probably better off shelving, or I'm going to shelf Alolan Graveller. So if you battle against me, don't worry about this Alolan Graveller. You probably won't be seeing it. Sorry, my lip's a bit funny. I just came back from the dentist, got a filling, and I'm still a bit numb. But yeah, we'll keep Pokemon focused. Sorry guys. Now, we know this is not an ideal matchup for us. These Ice Punches just don't really quite do enough against Charizard. He is quite a hard counter to Medicham, but fortunately we can just fast attack down with Golbat. So now we're up against an Tropic, and we get a shocker of a start. We'll get out of there into Drapion, which probably isn't the right move either. But now the advantage of switching there and not into that hard count. Actually, Drapion probably loses, to be honest. Is that we've still got our Medicham in the back for that tank. So that Rhyperior is still there. So he might be thinking, oh sweet, no fighter. So that's why he was happy to bring out the Wigglytuff. But it puts us in a nice position. And this doesn't. So Sableye is obviously going to be a super hard counter to our Medicham. So we're pretty much committed. We're going to have to commit our Golbat here to taking out this Sableye however we can. Because Medicham's just not going to cut the grass, right? Now Medicham's also probably going to lose in the Earthquake to an Earthquake, but we got to get him in there. We got to get those counters going. This is the one time I actually would have liked to Power Up Punch Medicham, right? But he's gone for the Surf, so counters will take it out. But yeah, Power Punch ought to be nice there. Not for the shield, but just to buff up a little bit. So terrible matchup there against that Bite Drapion. Still not even that great against the old Golbat. And he does throw the Aqua Tail, so it's going to do slightly more damage. Now we're hoping he's not going to shield, but very stupidly, he's going to resist everything. So we really shouldn't have thrown the Shadow Ball. We should have just charged up the energy. And then And I just gone for the Poison Fangs to hopefully get some shields. So yeah, not sitting super nice in this matchup. So he's got the switch advantage. Shields and energies both 0. So oddly enough, he switches into Alolan Marek. So maybe he's got nothing but ghosts in the back. So that's good for me. So we're thinking, all right, sweet, let's Fell Stinger, let's buff this up. But I think I turned away at the time and I didn't see the old Wigglytuff, which is that's pretty much a wrap for my team here. So we're going to try and get to 2 Shadow Punches to take a shield and then take it out, but we were 1 move short, so that's game. So yeah, you can see here I really, in my lineup anyway, I felt like I was really missing that Pro Pass. And interesting here, we got the Thunderfang Steelix, and it is eating into Clefable, so really doing a lot of damage. So obviously the energy gen's not as good, but yeah, really ripping in with those Thunderfangs. So even you can see here against the Medicham, yeah, make a bit of a mistake and waste the shield, but you know, kind of behind, so you don't want to get too far behind. And as we can see, we switched out, and that's pretty much a game. But he takes the Shadow Ball, interestingly. I probably would have nominated to shield, but maybe he was thinking I was going for the bait. So Surf's not going to do too much. And I got a little bit edgy, and I threw the Poison Fang, and obviously didn't do enough to take out this Rhyperior. If a shield would have been the best thing possible, but so yeah, we've got that Sableye coming out. Even with all this energy, it's not going to be enough to really do any damage to Sableye, and Sableye's just going to be able to take us down pretty much with fast moves, to be honest. Even if we land a 3rd Ice Beam, which I don't think we get to. Like, look how much... Oh, we do easily get to it. Look how much health Sableye's got. Like, it's not going to be a 1-hit KO. It's barely going to do, yeah, just over a quarter health. So, that's a wrap on this one. Move into the next battle now, and it's against... I think it's a different opponent. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we move on to another opponent here. And it's a nice switch there. So catching this Shadow Ball. So obviously I'm going to switch into the Medicham. It's going to win the matchup. Not going to shield, even if it's Fell Stinger, Aqua Tail. Yeah, it's going to be about the same damage in the end. But we are loaded with energy here. So probably just not quite 2 Dynamic Punches. And yeah, unfortunately we're coming back straight into this Marowak. And nothing's going to be effective. So neither of these things are going to do too much damage. So try and just do what we can. And we get into the bites. So bites are going to rip through Marowak. We're going to get a little bit of energy. So obviously, knowing that, he switches out into Sableye. And we just need to shield everything. And bite's going to do the rest of the work here for us. So it's really going to do nice. Even though he's got 2 shields left. Doesn't matter. So it's something I found in this cup, actually. There's been a fair few battles where opponents have had shields left and it hasn't made any difference. So, yes, you've got to be careful. The charms, the bites, sometimes may not be the worst idea using a shield early, even if you're not as sure. It can keep you in a pretty positive spot. So this is where I made a big mistake here. So I switched into Alolan Graveller when I had a Golbat in the back. Now the beauty is we've got some shields, so that's really nice. But if he's got a fighter in the back, that's actually a really good option. So we're going to keep our Golbat taking out the fighter now. We're expecting to come back in is... Ooh, so we don't have a fighter. So we've got a double tank situation here. So not ideal, but Shadow Ball is going to do some nice damage. So let's straight back into our Medicham, who's loaded with energy. It's going to take out the Steelix, and then our opponent just gives up because we've got shield advantage. So ended up working really well, even though may not have. If he had have had a fighter in the back, it could have been a bit awkward. You know, we would have lost that switch advantage because we would have to switch based on what he had, and it could have been a little bit messy. Probably would have actually lost the fight. So obviously got perfect lead in that matchup. Golbat versus Wigglytuff. We're quite happy to waste the shield here and just bite down this Sableye, and we're just going to try and do a little bit of damage to Wigglytuff, but not too much. So essentially Wigglytuff's just charged up a bit of extra energy. So we want to keep that pressure on the Wigglytuff to either use shields or take big chunks of health loss. So this is the one matchup that's actually pretty nice here. So obviously Bone Club's going to do a bit of damage, but we have a very, very quick energy generator in this Volt Switch. So oddly enough, he doesn't shield. So then we're like, okay, sweet, he hasn't shielded. Let's save our shield. Let's get a heap of energy onto this Golbat. Got a bit nervous there. Probably could have just kept going for the farm. It would have been okay. And Wigglytuff, so it's going to be too slow to get to those Ice Beams for the Wigglytuff. So we're just going to go to the Poison Fangs. Had a shield in the back, so it wouldn't have mattered even if the Ice Beam goes off. And that's it. That's GG. So thanks for the video, guys, and I'll show you my next team in the next one. Catch you then. Bye.